Welcome to the Ghostly Chronicles, The Mirror in the Attic. In the quiet town of Oakwood, there stood an old Victorian house with a dark secret hidden in its attic. The house had been passed down through generations, but no one dared to enter the attic after nightfall. Legend had it that a mirror hung there, cursed by a vengeful spirit. They said that whoever looked into the mirror would see their darkest fears reflected back at them, driving them to madness or worse. One stormy night, a curious teenager named Emma stumbled upon the house while exploring the abandoned streets of Oakwood. Intrigued by the stories surrounding the old mansion, she decided to investigate further. Ignoring the warnings whispered by the townsfolk, Emma made her way through the creaking front door and ascended the dusty staircase to the attic. The air grew thick with the weight of centuries as she pushed open the attic door and stepped into the darkness beyond. Her flashlight flickered, casting long shadows that danced upon the walls like specters of the past. But Emma pressed on, driven by a morbid curiosity that refused to be silenced. At last, she found it. The mirror that had haunted the dreams of Oakwood's residents for generations. It stood tall and imposing against the far wall, its surface obscured by layers of dust and grime. With trembling hands, Emma reached out and wiped away the dust, revealing the mirror's dark, reflective surface. For a moment she hesitated, her heart pounding in her chest as she contemplated what lay beyond. But curiosity got the better of her, and she leaned in closer, peering into the depths of the mirror. At first, all she saw was her own reflection staring back at her, pale and wide-eyed with fear. Then, slowly, the image began to shift and warp, twisting into grotesque shapes that bore no resemblance to reality. Emma's breath caught in her throat as she watched in horror, unable to tear her gaze away from the nightmare unfolding before her eyes. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the attic, a cold, mocking laugh that sent shivers down her spine. With a cry of terror, Emma stumbled backward, desperate to escape the mirror's malevolent gaze. But it was too late. The mirror had claimed her soul, trapping her in a never-ending nightmare from which there was no escape. And as the storm raged on outside, the old Victorian house stood silent and still, guarding its dark secret for eternity.